Shiesty. This week, 9 individuals, including well-known musical artists, kidnapped and robbed at gunpoint numerous victims at a music studio in Dallas, Texas. 8 of the 9 were arrested yesterday in Dallas, Memphis, and Nashville. These individuals who are charged and arrested include Lontrell Williams Jr., also known as Pooh Shiesty, Lontrell Williams Sr., Rodney Wright Jr., also known as Big 30, Kadarius Waters, Demarion Gibson, DeMarcus Glover, Corday Johnson, Darian McDaniel, and Terrence Rogers has not been arrested yet, but will be soon. The complaint alleges that on January 10th of this year, 3 music industry professionals traveled to Dallas for a scheduled business meeting. Lontrell Williams Jr. arranged this meeting purportedly to discuss the terms of his recording contract with one of the victims. As alleged, once these 3 men were inside the recording studio, Williams Jr. and 8 co-conspirators, several of whom traveled from Memphis, Tennessee, executed a coordinated armed takeover. As alleged, Williams Jr. produced an AK-style pistol and forced one of the victims to sign a release from the recording contract at gunpoint. The remaining conspirators displayed firearms and robbed the other victims of Rolex watches, jewelry, cash, and other high-value items. One of the victims was actually choked by one of the defendants to the point of near unconsciousness. Defendant Wright barricaded the studio door with his body to prevent the victims from escaping. The ringleader of the conspiracy, Lontrell Williams Jr., was on home confinement at the time of the offense, as alleged, for a prior firearms conspiracy charge and conviction out of the Southern District of Florida. Towards the end of his prison sentence, he had been granted home detention. Part of the terms of his home detention were that he would not commit another federal offense or possess a firearm. His father, Lontrell Williams Sr., is alleged to have helped plan and execute the federal kidnapping as charged in the complaint. And as described further in the complaint, within hours of leaving the Dallas studio, a number of the defendants were on social media displaying some of the items that appeared to be the jewelry that had been robbed from the victims. The charging document outlines some of the evidence, just some, establishing the defendants' roles in the federal offense.
My whole deal is Pooh, he must have wanted to go back in jail to shower with men, because why would you do this? First and foremost, they always saying that Gucci Mane is snitching, this and that. So if you know he's a snitch, what makes you think that when you rob him that he wasn't going to go to the police? Now the feds are involved, and they have a slew of evidence against everybody. They say that Pooh Shiesty was on like an ankle monitor, and so that they could prove that he was at the studio in Dallas, robbing Gucci Mane, like the witnesses say he was doing. And so now they got all 9 of them locked up in federal custody because of this. So I just feel like Pooh wanted to go back to jail, and he brought his 9 brothers with him. Big 30 was clearly that's his best friend, and maybe he wants to get locked up with him. But this just didn't make any logical sense. Damn the street stuff. But a lot of mixed reactions, like this guy on X says, Pooh Shiesty did what he was supposed to do. He did what some of you cowards say what you would do if you were in that situation. Don't call him stupid now. Y'all glorify that behavior until it's really happening. Everyone ain't playing gangster. Another one says Gucci changed his entire life, and this is the thanks he gave him. We got to do better, people. Calvin Walker says too many dudes out here acting like they mama, and I mean, if you didn't have some kind of man in your life to show you something positive, then you know why I say this. So instead of hiring a lawyer to get free from the contract, a contract got to be made with a lawyer for freedom. The people that's agreeing with this type of behavior, they just need to accept the fact that some of these men want to go back to jail, because doing this was like going into a bank where you bank at and robbing someone with no mask and then waiting for the police to come and get you to take you to jail. And on top of that, so now all of them are facing kidnap and robbery charges. And Pooh Shiesty had that in-home detention, so I'm sure he's going to have to, serve the rest of his original sentence. And this was sent over to the feds because they crossed state lines to do this. He was on federal probation, and then there was 9 people, so it was kind of like a conspiracy plot against Gucci Mane and the people inside of his studio. They know that this was premeditated, and they just got a lot of evidence against these people. So to me, it's just like at this point, Pooh Shiesty must have wanted to go back to jail because why else are you doing this? Y'all drop a comment. They all just signed up for lengthy prison sentences. People are saying that he asked Gucci Mane to get out of his contract nicely, and then I guess obviously he said no, and then this is what happened. But he was still making money. He was just online flashing all his money and stuff. So clearly, this isn't over money, but maybe he feels like he's not free in that contract. But with all that aside, it's like, why would you do this knowing that you guys are saying he's a snitch? So why would you do this? It just makes no sense. And I feel like, yes, it is stupid. No matter what type of hood or street shit you want to apply to this equation, it just doesn't make any sense because at the end of the day, you're about to go sit down in federal prison. And most of those sentences are more lengthy than a state prison. And also, they're saying that he was the ringleader. So, yeah, you're going to get the most time out of the whole 9 pack, whether they want to talk or not. They got surveillance video. They got your homies online flashing money and jewelry and stuff after they robbed Gucci Mane's studio. So, I just feel like they're just a bunch of idiots doing this. Like, you're not even doing the crime correctly. You go online to social media, which obviously the feds have those videos so that they can post it. So, I mean, so that they could take that to trial and show the jury, like, okay, well, this is what was taken from this victim, and here it is in this video. So it just seems like they're all just, signed up to go to federal prison.